What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Guido's Chop Shop, the second best gel blaster channel on the tubes, and I've got the HSG V2G build on the desk today, and I'm going to be putting it into the Taidi M4 receiver. Now, in one of my previous videos where I fitted up the DNA enhanced wiring loom, someone made a comment, why would I put a beautiful gearbox in an ugly receiver? But I think that was a little bit unfair, because I think this is a beautiful receiver. It's just a nice alloy receiver. It's one of the higher quality receivers that I've come across in the gel blaster scene. It is alloy and nice and strong, and it is an M4. I know some people don't like M4s, but the M4 base is so there's so many things you can do it. It's such a good starting point, and it's so versatile. You can make it into a CQB style, or you can make it a DMR style, or you know, it's so versatile. And one of my favorite features of this particular Taidi Toys receiver is that it takes my mags, and I love that. There's a lot of other receivers out there where the mag well's just a little bit thin, and my mags are a bit fat. They're from a early model Gen 8 style, so I like the fact that this receiver accepts my mags nicely, and that's a big winner for me. But it is a nice solid alloy receiver anyway, and this is a nice solid alloy gearbox. So I mean, to me it just seems like a match made in heaven. I don't know why people wouldn't see that, but regardless of that, I don't care what you think anyway, I'm doing it. So moving on, let's get this in that. One of the things I want to make sure of first, I want to make sure that these wires can fit through. There is a little gap here for the wires, just there. I might just file the edges down on this, just so that there's no sharp edges, so that these wires here from the DNA loom don't catch on anything. There is enough clearance there to get them through, but I think I might just get a little bit of a Dremel in here just to open that up, so there's no sharp edges to catch those wires on, because I wouldn't want to short them out on anything. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do it off camera because no one likes the Dremel noise in their face. Alright, so I just got in there and took some of the sharp edges off that section. No major surgery there or anything. Just removing some of the potential snags. Don't want to catch those wires, you know. Just got to get these through here now. The DNA blob. Work this box down into the receiver. Make sure this little tab sits up there. Just want to make sure it all fits in nicely, nothing gets crimped on the way in. It's a very, very nice tight fit, so I don't want to force anything in there. There we go. So one of the reasons I hadn't shrunk the heat shrink until now is because I wanted to make sure that these wires tuck nicely into the receiver here, and then I shrink the heat shrink on to have it all nice. You can see the wires, I don't know if you can see, yeah, the wires for the loom come through this little spot here nicely now. There's no sharp edges there. I just took a Dremel on that, heat that up, get it shrunk down there, and now on the other end, now that my heat gun's turned off, on the other end I will shrink this one. Something so satisfying about a good heat shrink. You guys enjoy it like I do? I don't know, something about it. I'm just going to pop the body pin in now. There you go. And now the rear receiver pin. Now we need to knock this rear body pin in. Alright, in, nice and tight. Something so satisfying about having a nice gearbox come together and everything. I like it. I should point out that I had actually had this, I had HSG remodel this mag terminal plate here because it didn't originally suit my mag. Let's see if you can see down in here. The front of the plate wasn't actually pushing down this button when I put my mag in. So now you can see the new mag plate is actually pushing that button down. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get some more light in here. There you go. So and I just contacted them and said, hey, mag plate needs to be a little bit longer, so I'd say the new ones that are coming out now probably have that slightly longer mag plate as standard, because I think most magazines have that little button there on the top to release the gels. So that's good, they sorted that out, no problems. Got the grip here. This is still the standard Taidi Toys grip. I will probably be changing this out to something different in the future because I've got plans for this blaster. But for now, it'll work. It fits. It's nice. The clearances around here are good. It's not tightened down yet, obviously, but I've had grips in the past where there's been horrible clearances around the grip here, so it's good to get one that actually fits. Of course, we'll have to tighten these two screws in here. So I was just doing the last screw up in this grip off camera, and I just thought, wait a minute, what am I doing? This isn't the grip that I'm going to have on this blaster, so why am I mucking about with it? Let's just go straight to this grip, which is what I did. So I put this one on instead of the standard one, because this was my intention all along, really. I was going to go to this grip. So going with that grip. Fits nicely, looks good. So now that I've got that grip on there, some of my more keen-eyed viewers may recognize the direction that this is taking. or some of my viewers from way back might recognize what's going on here. I mentioned it in some of the comments in the last video, so you'll get it eventually. But yeah, so I've got the barrel, standard barrel that came on the Taidi M4, and I've got the custom T-piece for the HSG, made by HSG. We'll just get that on here now. Yeah, I was almost about to say this is coming together way too easily. There's always something that doesn't fit or something that needs to be modified, and nothing yet. But I've just come across my first issue. I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but the nozzle rubber here is not lining up with the T-piece when it goes in, so it's actually catching on the bottom of that nozzle rubber, so it's not sitting into the T-piece. So that's one issue, so I might have to look at maybe the T-piece or something, getting it slightly redesigned. The other thing is, even when I take the T-piece out, it doesn't seem to fit perfectly 100% into this receiver. I'll just slide this in. Okay, so I get here, that's the pin. Alright, that's in. So I'm about 1 millimeter out here, so something is not quite fitting. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a bit of a gap here, which this gap here is probably something to do with the reason why the nozzle isn't fitting into the T-piece correctly. So it's probably not necessarily the T-piece, but actually something to do with the fitment of this. And this isn't fitting in the back here. You can see that's still got a gap there. So I have a feeling it might be the top of this box is it's a little bit wider than the standard box, so maybe it's not fitting down in here properly or something. It doesn't. I'm going to have to investigate a little bit further here, see what's going on, why this doesn't fit. But there's something going on. This isn't quite. It's not quite fitting in as well as it should, or as well as the original Taidi gearbox fits in. So I did do some measurements. I measured the top of the HSG V2G is a little bit wider here, so that's 8 millimeters wide there, and the Taidi Toys one is, it's only fractionally smaller, 7.8 versus 8. So I mean, but that could be it. That could be all it takes. Also in the back, I notice the Taidi box drops off quite sharply here, whereas the V2G has a nice taper there, so that could actually have something to do with it as well, perhaps. So I'm going to look into this a bit further. Okay, so I've removed this little faux bolt piece, and I've removed the charging handle, and the upper and the lower now fit like a glove. So this charging handle is obviously, it's designed for the Taidi gearbox. It's got a little channel which it runs along the top of, so I might have to modify this charging handle just so it's a little bit slimmer or something, so that I can put it back in there. This thing, I don't know if I'll bother. You can actually see these little ribs here are were rubbing on the gearbox inside, so that's just made it just a little bit too tight in there, and I don't need that anyway. So yes, that now fits like a glove. I'll have to double check the T-piece situation, whether the T-piece now actually lines up without all this junk inside the upper receiver. So maybe that might line up now, which would be good, because that means, because that's my last piece, so to speak. Look, when you got such a beautiful gearbox in there, who needs a fake bolt to cover it up? Got this real nice gearbox, why are you hiding it? Alright, so I will have to check the T-piece, make sure that it lines up in there. Put the T-piece in. I'll close this ejection port because it needs to be closed to slide on properly. It's also worth noting, when I am sliding it on, I have to be aware of these wires there for the DNA wiring loom. Okay, now without the ejection port open, I can't see very well. Yeah, it's still not lining up with the T-piece, so I'm just going to have to talk to HSG and maybe get them to slightly redesign my T-piece for me, because what's happening, you can see here, when I push it on, it's actually pushing the rubber off of the bottom of the T-piece now because it's so tight. So I will have to get on to them and get that T-piece sorted out. It might just be a matter of lowering that down in the design. I'll have to re-glue this rubber back on now. If that's might be okay. No, I'll probably have to re-glue it anyway. But yeah, so the T-piece is ever so slightly out, which, I mean, in itself is actually not super surprising, but the amazing thing is that I told Toby I needed a T-piece for this, and he just printed this out. I told him roughly, like over the phone, roughly where it needed to be, and he literally just made me a T-piece within, it's got to be within a millimeter of where it's got to be. So so I think the T-piece itself is good. I just think that perhaps these locating wings, these little winglets on the side here that locate it, need to just shift up. I want to say maybe maybe a millimeter or something, and then maybe, yeah, but anyway, either way, I'm gonna have to go talk to Toby from HSG again to get me sorted with this T-piece, because the fact that he's got it so close just from freestyling it, he's just gone and made that T-piece up for me, and it's been so close to being the correct size. It's very, very close just from freestyling it, but it looks like it's just a little bit too high. I think these wings is what it is. The locating wings that locate it into the actual outer barrel need to be slightly moved up so that the barrel can. Anyway, I'm going to have to call it a night for now, but I'm moving forward with this. I know I'm going to have to shave a little bit off the bottom of the charging handle for the HSG box, because the Taidi box has got a slightly different arrangement on top, and slight change to the T-piece, and we should almost be good to go. Alright, thank you for watching, and oh yeah, don't forget, you can buy a patch from me on Facebook, or you can buy me a coffee down in the link below. Thanks for watching, peace.